Welcome to Arnie's Class Podcast. I'm Arnie Aniel. I'm an HR development consultant, an international public speaker, a workshop facilitator, a coach, and an educator. Life is a great opportunity, and we all learn life lessons every day. This podcast is all about those lessons. Lessons like gratitude, confidence, happiness, mindset, and a lot more. Learning without action is information. Learning with action is transformation. Join me, learn, and transform yourself into a better you. Life mates, welcome to another episode of Annie's Class. Merry Christmas. And I hope you had a wonderful and meaningful Christmas with your family and friends. In this episode, we're going to talk about confidence. Are you confident? Or do you consider yourself confident? Well, what is confidence? For me, confidence is a mental strength. It's your belief in yourself that you can do things, that you can accomplish things, that you can achieve your goals. I know some people who can immediately say they are confident, but once you look at them, you observe them, you don't see the confidence. For me, confidence is internal and external at the same time. Internal is your belief, it's inside you, your belief about yourself, how you see yourself as a person, as an individual, or whatever role you have professionally and personally. External confidence is how you express that. How do you manifest confidence? Your body language, everything that you do that people can see, that's external confidence. I know some people who say they are confident, but you don't see that through their actions. But some people are not confident enough to say they are confident, but when they do things, when they talk, when they say something, when they do things, you can really see that they are confident people. It's one of the greatest lessons I've learned in life. Because for me, confidence is that thing that drives you to do what you want to do, to make your dreams come true. It's something that pushes you out of your comfort zone, and it's something that can differentiate you from other people. I know some people who are very talented, very skillful, but lack of confidence. And at the same time, I know people who are not that talented, not that skillful, but very successful because they have that kind of confidence. Confidence is not something that you can have overnight, that you can acquire in an hour or 2 hours or a day or a month. For me, confidence is a process. It's a journey. Even though for some people it takes some time or longer time than the others, you have to take that journey. You have to start all those small steps to make yourself confident. No one can make you confident except yourself. It comes from within. Because if it's something that can we easily learn just like easily like that, then everybody can be really confident. No one can tell you to be confident and then all of a sudden in a minute or two, you stand there right in front of other people or do things, something that with that kind of confidence. I don't think that's that easy. It takes time, but you better start. In order for us to be confident, there are many things we can do. One is about your self-image, how you perceive yourself and how others think about you. Some people, they think of themselves as very kind and caring people, but other people who matters to them or the people around them, they don't even consider them as caring and kind. So there is something wrong about it. I'm not saying that you should depend on what other people say about you, but for me, whatever you think of yourself and how other people think of you should more or less aligned. It should be the same. You cannot say that you are kind and friendly and caring, but nobody actually consider or think of you as kind, caring, and considerate. That's impossible. For me, if you have that kind of character, it is expressed externally, and people can actually see that, can feel that, can experience that from you. You can also be confident by knowing your skills, your knowledge. What do you know? What are the things you can do? Because if you know what you know and you know what you can do, you are aware of that, it can boost your confidence. We all have achievements, and it can help you be confident to remind yourself of those things that you have achieved in the past, or the things that you've done and that you are proud of. It doesn't have to be big things, because for other people, they only consider it an achievement. You don't have to compare yourself to other people to measure your success and your achievements. In this episode, my guest is going to share with us her journey of being confident. How about you? Are you confident enough? Life mates, another episode, another lesson, or probably lessons from our guest for this episode. Once again, listen and learn. Ladies and gentlemen, my special guest for this episode holds 2 master's degree with honors from UK and Spain under World Academic Scholarship Program. And she used to be an engineer who was able to manage engineering projects for international companies like Dell. She has more than 10 years of experience in training, coaching, and consulting. She is also an author and was able to publish 6 books. Listeners, 6 books. She's been involved with different projects and programs wherein she was able to work as a founder, as an advisor, and she's also an entrepreneur and a public speaker. As a matter of fact, she is the Distinguished Toastmasters. Please welcome Jen Vuhuong. Hello, Jen, and welcome to Arnie's class.
Hello, Annie. I met Ali how many years ago? I could not remember because after that we had get a chance to talk together, and I felt really thankful because at that time I felt like I don't know if Annie gonna talk to me. He gonna get a lot of requests, and a lot of people wanna approach him and learn from him, wanna attend his classes. And I just feel like that is a beautiful thing about Annie because he keep teaching people and he keep learning from every single person, and he always teach me something, the way he doing his classes, the way he doing the podcast, or the way he give me comments. So all of this, I just want to say thank you for your great work, and
Thank you
I'm
very
really
much, Jen.
grateful to be here today.
I'm learning a lot from you too. I've learned and I'm still learning from you. I always like your personality of being bubbly, happy, and it's not easy to maintain that kind of being bubbly, friendliness. And thank you so much for saying yes to my invitation.
Oh, thank you for asking me so I can have chance to say yes. And it's beautiful, right? Because you can see a lot of positivity here. And why it's not? Because we need to have the possibility and the positivity to overcome all the difficulties and maybe some kind of negativity out there. So thank you for doing this.
Yes, my pleasure. You mentioned about meeting me. I think it was in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. The first time we met, I think that we met in
2018, because
2018.
I came back from the UK in 2018. So you reminded me that
Oh, 2018.
I came back from the UK to Vietnam in 2018. And at that time, I would remember that I went to speak and like a bomb. And I remember there was a girl saying that after hearing my speech, she would feel like her skin is just like, so yeah, I think because I was like very like a lion, dragon and speaking
A
and
lion in a positive way, not a lion in a negative way, because of so much energy, Jen. Your energy is
yeah,
contagious.
thank you. And it's very important to somehow getting feedback to really use it in an effective way. And that's why I think it's very important to have someone like you to talk to and see us from different perspectives. And I believe that that's why you are doing this podcast. It's like keeping us the perspective so we can always discover the other part of ourselves and we can embrace our potential, live more fully. So let's
Yes,
drop on.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. First of all, Jen, I can see from your post and I've seen your videos. Where do you get this confidence?
Thank you. If it is a confidence topic from what I have posted, right? I will see it as a journey and I will reflect my journey in this way. And it's really related to kind of lion in a way. So it was like a cat, and the cat turned into a lion.
Oh,
And maybe
wow.
sometimes it's maybe make some people go away. But then actually it's just a way of expressing ourselves. So I always remember one image actually related to this kind of animal. My mentor, one of the people that really impressed my confidence of being myself, he showed me this picture. I believe that you can search on the internet. When you search the term called see the bigger version of yourself, cat and lion. And
Oh,
you can
yes.
see,
Yes. Yeah.
and
I've
you can
seen
see
that a
like there's
couple
a
of
cat,
times.
yeah, see the in the mirror and see that potential as a lion. And I would like to kind of share the major stages of what I call like my confidence, and I am still discovering it because I think confidence or joy or energy, they all have different stages, and maybe we call like spectrum. And we can discover this as we continue going and learning and give being open to other people perspectives and helping us to be better. I was a little countryside kid, and at
Countryside
that time,
in Vietnam. Where in
yeah,
Vietnam, Jen?
in the northern of Vietnam, the province named Bắc Giang, and actually recently Bắc Giang got a big problem regarding pandemic, and that's why more people know about that. So actually, not many people know that province. So I also saw that people have different kind of perspectives on a certain thing when you say where you come from and what you do and what your family doing. So when I was a little kid, I got a lot of different kind of social ideas. We call it social norms, social belief. It's not because of anyone is not good, but it's more like we have been trained by society to say, oh, if you're a girl coming from countryside, just get a good job after studying and get married. And as my mentor said, like has a bad loss of kids. So that is a good way to say, like just get married
Yes.
and yeah, have more kids and continue creating more generation of being like girl. So at that time I had kind of we go like difficulty or let's say hard childhood, and in a way that helping me to really asking why I was born. And it sounds very big, right? Like why we are here in this life, because I got a lot of chances to be saved from different accidents that I almost got kidnapped or almost got
Kidnap when
yeah
you
I
were
almost
young.
yeah when I was around 5 or 3 years old. My
Oh,
mom, my dad was not at home, and at that time there was this kind of kidnapping, let's say, crisis in Vietnam, and I almost became one of them. And I got a very interesting story about it because at that time I watched a lot of movies and I saw most movies talking about someone got kidnapped and came back to find their parents. And I was seeing myself like that. Like it's interesting because most people came back to find their parents. They really successful business people. So I got this kind of combination of different stories when I was a kid, from that and then from seeing Ho Chi Minh, our hero, and Phan Bội Châu, another hero, liberated Vietnam because they could learn from abroad and they could open their mind and they could do things differently. So I combine all of these kind of saying. I wanted to do something like that by going
to be
abroad,
just like
open my
them.
mind. yeah, to just kind of like to do something for country. And but I didn't know how. But it's like we had big dream. We had this kind of, let's say, ambiguous dream, but we had no idea. But we just felt that. And I also remember I read some kind of stories, and I heard some kind of, successful stories and impactful story of people who own companies. They study technology. 30% of the CEO they study engineering, if I remember correctly at that time. And all of this kind of element made me want to study engineering, and then I could embrace my business ability later on. And because I had that kind of idea becoming an engineer in the top science and technology university in Vietnam, a lot of people like kept telling me that I could not. So a lot of kind of impossibilities when I was a kid, people told me. Especially I was a little bit, let's say, weird. I often wore short, and
Weird.
yeah, people call me that, right? Because I was short, and I was like a tomboy, little boy, all the way was short and very dark skin, and very aggressive when going to the market to sell stuff for my mom. So it's like all of these made me to not speak up and to decided to be silent. So I could not, or I didn't need to hear other people tell me that I could not. So if I keep telling people what I wanted, they probably keep telling me that I could not. So I decided I would keep silent, be very silent. So almost 18 years of my life, I was quite silent, and I went to the school.
18 years.
Yeah, it's like primary school, secondary school, high school. I went to the school and I study and I focus and I didn't speak much. And I came back. It's like a routine: waking up early, having my parents in the field, going to school, and just focus on studying. And just like having that determination and that discipline, because my parents also really disciplined, raising up 4 kids, working with different 4 jobs.
Are you the youngest or the
Yeah.
eldest from your
I
family, Jen?
I I became the youngest after my younger sister passed away. My younger
Mm.
sister passed away at the year that I almost got kidnapped. That's why my parents were at the hospital to take care of my younger sister. And so I was at home with my elder sister. She's just like 7 years old, and I'm 3 years old. So there's a lady came and kind of had a story to just take me away, but my brother saved me. So I think that's why you can tell that I speak now for my whole childhood. So that was a big change, right? I believe that at that time I could say, like, coming back to the confidence topic, I had that kind of belief in a better future, and that is like very strong, and it's so difficult to describe how big it is, but it's like a desire, or it's like a fire inside me. And that fire was fired up by I seeing people around me, my family work really hard and love each other and wanted the best for me. And it was because I could survive after a lot of difficulties and incidents. And also because of other successful and impactful stories. Another part I believe that also helped. I watched like Hexman and Monkey King, and I believe in the like
Those
unlimited power.
fantasies.
Yeah, it helped. It's really helped because anytime I could like, oh yes, we could have that really powerful power if we do it for someone else. So I always felt that inside me. And another thing I think also helped because I often work in the field, and whenever I see the sky and the unlimited space, I felt that we also could like
Could
have
have
that.
that kind of space in
Yeah,
our life.
yeah, it was like very useful. And actually scientific also show that if we when we travel and when we pose the nature, we also can feel the unlimited within us. So I believe it was really helpful too. And with that, after I changed my environment, getting out of my hometown, nobody knows me, so I could speak. People may
Where
not
did you
judge
go,
me.
Jen, when you said
I went
you changed
to
the environment?
university. Yeah, I went to
University,
university.
but
Yeah,
outside of your hometown.
yeah. It's like in the capital, Hanoi.
Oh,
So it's
see.
like
So
70
from
kilometers far away from my hometown.
all by yourself.
Yeah, because I got a chance to attend the university, and normally when a person goes to university in Vietnam, in the other province, they often has a chance to live in that other city, and parents they are used
Proud.
to that. Yeah, yeah, they are proud and they used to that. They think it's kind of like the way it is, so they okay with letting their children go to stay by their own in the dorm or maybe in a kind of renting places. But for students in the capital, because the university is next to their house, so maybe it's more difficult for them to really move out. But for my case, I had a chance to then go to the environment where nobody knows me, and I've had a kind of feeling that people would not care what I said, or maybe that's what I told myself. So I just kind of
So it
exposed.
started. That was
Yeah,
the beginning.
yeah, that's the kind of beginning that I could like embrace myself. Maybe the fear when I was a kid was like people judge me, and that's why I decided to be with my dream. And maybe that was a story I created for myself, and that made me to create a
Like a
world.
frame. You
Yeah,
put yourself in a frame.
yeah, it's like a box, like an invisible box, and that is good at one side, but it could later on. I would say to you that that is another element when we go to the level of true confidence. That I have to really see that invisible box actually could be also have side effect. So I will share a little bit later on because it's the next stage of my confidence. So my confidence at the beginning, I would see the belief in something beyond myself, and because having a drive from a mission or a vision, what do you call it, a dream, and that's kind of like the energy just kept inside, and one day it get a chance to be
So it was like
exploded. Yeah,
suppressed for a very, very
yeah,
long
yeah,
time.
yeah,
And
yeah,
finally, here comes. And then it exploded. And then you were
yeah,
ready, and combined with the energy and the belief,
yeah,
everything went well
yeah.
from that time.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, the shape of the environment helped at the time because I already had that kind of strong belief, and I waited for that day. And then I got the touch, the environment as a trigger to explore, like explode. But sometimes changing the environment could not be the very ultimate solution. Later on, you can see my next stage, and you can see that it always had to be from inside. And in my case, I already had that kind of insight. Like I waited for that day, and then I exploded in that new environment where I would think that nobody would judge me. And or even they judge me, I didn't care because I didn't really know much
But
about
how
them.
it really started, Jen, that you said that because nobody knows me now, then
Mm.
I just like have to express myself. Was what triggered it aside from the change of environment? Was there
Yes,
something
because
that
yeah, as I told you, because I already have that kind of waiting like one day inside me that
inside you
yeah.
already? Okay.
So it's like when I was a kid, I always believed that I could future can be better, and if I keep going and I keep trying, and that's why I work really hard and be disciplined, and I waited for that day and for that kind of period, and I believe very strong that it could happen. So when I got to the new environment, I think it was a trigger for my whole journey of being like, let's say, accumulating my one day my chance. So it's not the environment, but it's, let's say, the environment. It was a trigger for my journey that I created inside. So that change of the environment happened at that point where I accumulated it over time, the belief, and I exploded or I express myself by going to the environment where I also see people are really hungry and want to be better. So at that time, for my case, it was going to the speaking community. It was not Toastmaster, but it's more like in Vietnam. At that time, it's like a student speaking,
Like a
and
speaking
it's kind
club.
of, yeah, it's very basic, more like hello, how are you, and what do you like to do in the future, and what do you feel fearful for? So the good thing is that like actually these kind of places people often ask questions that make us think, and it's like what do you like to do in the future? And I remember at that time I just had that kind of very unconscious saying and answer the person asking me, I want to start a business. And I got like a total judgment face from that person. It's like, or maybe it's from myself that I didn't believe in myself. So I could feel like that person thought she
Or
actually
maybe
could do
because it
that.
was still an
Yeah,
effect of the previous years, long
yeah,
time that you're being judged, and all of a
yeah.
sudden it's like, why you have that look?
Yeah, it's like fun year student and engineering student and like a very like a tomboy and coming from the countryside studying a
With dark
business.
skin,
So
very small.
it's like I believe that also still inside me that kind of like very fear of judgment, very deep fear without even like wanting to acknowledge that. And that's why when I spoke that out and I could feel that reaction from the person and I could like right away interpret it in that way. And it but it didn't stop me. I chose a way. That is the second stage of my confidence journey, right? The
Is this
first
our
confidence,
second? Is this your
yeah,
second stage now?
yeah. The first stage is was like having that kind of mission, that kind of purpose, that something gonna be better and something bigger on the current situation, and that drive me to believe and stay on that journey. And every day just try to do the best that I could in studying in what I
Improve on
did.
a daily
Yeah.
basis. Improve and
So
improve.
and be disciplined on that. That was the first stage. And when I got to the second stage, it was a time where I express myself no matter what people say. So here's a side, maybe somebody who listening to it. Sorry, I didn't connect with you for long, but if you have felt that, I think it's a good sign. Maybe you are shy for a while, and then you got the stage where you just keep speaking, and you
Just
just like
do it.
sometimes,
It's like you just have that. Just do it.
yeah, just do it, right? Like if you want to watch a movie, a video of the guy saying, "Just do it," and he's just do it. I
Yes.
remember it's like that. And the feedback I got at the time to really show that the second stage is really to just do it and without judgment, without any fear, it's just do it. And sometimes people don't understand, and you even don't understand you, but you had to express like as you could. And sometimes it doesn't make any sense at all, but that period of time is like to really embrace every part of the the ability that you have. So after that you can go to the next stage. It's like more about effectiveness and more about being purposefully in how you connect and express. So my second stage, it was really about to dare to do it no matter how fearful I felt. I fear that people would judge me, people would not understand me, and me, I don't understand me. I still spoke it out. And the feedback I got, like from most people, I don't really understand what you say.
Were you speaking in English or in Vietnamese, Jen?
It's like even worse. Like, are you really speaking human language? Like, yeah, it's like my friend. If they close to me, they would say that. I said like,
So
oh,
what are you
if
talking about?
yeah, it's like, and I say, why are you still listening to me? And he said like, oh, you seem to be very energetic, and people cannot stop you. So I got that feedback for almost 5 years.
Wow.
Interestingly enough, right? Like, and I still kept doing it, like because I had that kind of ego to be able to express myself. I believe that I could also make some better changes, but at the end, like my kind of 5th year student, I still got that feedback sometimes that people say, "Oh, I still kind of difficult to really get what you try to say," because I'm talking about the English speaking thing, because most of the environment that I immersed myself was about English speaking and foreign people,
Languages.
international.
I
Yeah.
see.
And that's interesting because my friend even gave me like the thick skin because I had no fear of like
So
even
all
I,
throughout your university life.
yeah, it's kind of like most of this is like coming from more like other student, other people from not in my university, because I was studying in engineering, and most of my friends would go to the lab and would not really do a lot of other kind of, let's say, soft skill development. There's a lot of people they do very well, but most engineers they are working a lot and very hard, because engineering studying in my university quite hard also. There's a lot of things to do and stuff like that, and maybe because they also may not have the spark, yes, but if they have the spark or something, maybe they
They
even
didn't
they
work on it. They
yeah,
didn't tap on
yeah,
that spark and get and
yeah.
use that.
Yeah, maybe for me at the time, because I already had the story in my mind that I gonna study engineering, but I knew that my ultimate is to really exposure in the business sense. So that's why I combine that on in my journey. And I remember that is a second stage. I became someone like a thick skin. I wanted to express, and I also wanted to listen, but I would not let anyone to make me stop expressing myself. I didn't say that the feedback is not good, but the idea, like at that time, I felt that I had to just put it out. But I also really good listener at that time. I think much better than now in a way, because now I being rushed sometimes. But almost my 18 years, I because I didn't speak much, so I would listen more, because yeah, when you didn't speak, you could like focus on what people said, and
Correct.
in a very depth way, very deep. And when I went to university, I stayed in a dorm with friends, and it's really interesting. I really want to say thanks to this friend. She really lovely, and she had a lot of things in her life, and she like my sister, so she wanted to share. So I think I got her and other friends similar like that, love sharing. And when I stay with them, I always listen. And when I went to the club, I always spoke if I had a chance to.
So you're
So
unstoppable and grab every opportunity
yeah,
to speak
yeah,
and
yeah,
express
yeah. It was.
yourself.
That's true. Yeah, exactly.
The
That's why
unstoppable Jen.
yeah, at that time, that's why I had the word like non-stop in my mind, because it was like that. I would be non-stop taking all the chances, no matter what. It's like I grab that opportunity. But I believe that it's not in the very bad way, because I had the kind of another part of me really wanting to being like somebody who feeling they protect others. I don't want to say that, but I had a kind of very strong feeling, because my brother, sister protected me and they love me. So I had that kind of strong love from them. So I also project it to other people. So I feel like at that time it was a really great combination of somehow like being a so non-stop speaking person, but also like only listen. And that's why I had a friend that maybe 11 p.m. she just say, "Oh, I want to share this," and I just listen to her without even needing to say anything. And I think that also the kind of very starting journey of me knowing about what we call now like coaching, or what we call now like what
Yeah,
are the word? Yeah,
yes, coaching
some
wherein you
training.
just
Yeah,
keep on listening and listening. So
and asking some question. Yeah.
that's right. And then when did you move to the third stage, Jen?
Yeah, so the you can see that. Sorry, I went on and on.
It's
It's
okay
like
because I think our listeners will be very interested in listening to this kind of stories because each one of us we have stories to tell. And I'm sure
yes,
they can learn from this story. That's why I myself is listening to your story, and I'm sure I'm going to learn something from this. So now we're on the second stage. What happened to
It's
the
like a
third stage?
long, right? Okay, what if I have 20 stages? So after you have that kind of dry, that something spark you because it's go beyond your current situation and beyond you. Now you go to the stage where you will be non-stop expressing yourself. In my case, I use verbal as a way. But there's a lot of people, they didn't use verbal, they use music, they use drawing. I knew a friend that he had that kind of suppressed like me, but in different way because of his
They
family
express it through a
complementing.
different outlet.
Yeah, and he the way he expressed that was like through music, and he could create a lot of great music. And anytime he playing music, he became a totally different person, so confident. And if anyone here who wanna embrace that, you can watch like talent, like American or British Got Talent. I don't know if you like it or not, but what I like about it is because I could see so many people, they walk out and we could feel like, oh, this person, they cannot even speak. That's what the Jeff said. And then they just like became totally different person when
When
they
they
do
show
their
their
craft.
talent.
Yeah. So it was like that for me. I use speaking, but for other people can be something else. But the idea like you're gonna be exposed to that and you non-stop doing it without being fearful that somebody gonna say something, because everyone actually fearful like that. So for me it was speaking, and it was about being non-stop expressing myself. And I went to the next stage was when I graduated. And it's really interesting because I met a friend. I always wanted to say thanks to him because he had a kind of similar background as me and similar kind of drive, wanted to do something for our nation and wanted to help other people to be more confident, like to tap into their potential. And we met in the club, the speaking club, and later on we even worked in the same company,
This is
Samsung.
after you graduated, right,
Yeah,
Jen?
and but I met him before I graduated, but then we somehow worked in the same company. I worked for Samsung because I got the scholarship when I was last year student, and he older than me, so he already worked there. And it happened that we then became like, let's say, co-worker. Bef- I didn't know that until one day I went there and I worked, and I heard someone say that, oh, I hear someone's present in English very nicely, and it happened was him. So then later on we started a community-based business together when I was kind of just graduated from my university. And it was a time where I kind of like started connecting the dot, that I moved a little bit to the entrepreneurship and like businesses. And that was a time where I went to the next stage of the confidence, or being another better me, was to share what I have learned. So I exposed and I became kind of a non-stop, just be able to express myself. And then I went to the next stage to help other people to do so. So
Helping
uh,
others.
yeah, and some people probably gonna say like you create another kind of confident person, another person would be able to express themselves. Or if you are somebody who creating music, you could help other people to develop their music skill. So in my case, at that time when my friend helped me to be a part of that journey, creating that community-based businesses, we create the community, welcome people every week, come to speak up, and welcome other experts and speakers to inspire our community
But
members.
everything about the business.
Wow, that at that time the topic can be any, but because it's more like a speaking club,
I
speaking
see.
community. But the idea was that we already had that kind of vision, mission, and the plan to make it become a business. But the idea to build the community and give value first. So let's say every week we give them values of meeting with other successful people and expose to that. At the time, I didn't know there was Toastmaster, but our community is more like exchanging knowledge in English way, and it's variety of topic. and meeting with a lot of different like speakers or experts, so they could learn from these people too. So at the time, we went to the stage of almost 1 year, but we didn't produce any like revenue. And as I worked in Samsung as very first, one of very first people in the R&D department, so we went travel quite a lot. So both of my friend and I, we didn't work full time. Even we out of Samsung, you can see my friend. Even this part is interesting, but in Samsung we work full time, and we work full time in the community. Like
Together at the
yeah,
same time.
it's like we spend the evening, the weekend, all of this for that. But I think we didn't have that kind of business, let's say, skills or mindset as we could. And also one of us was not the full time, or the team was not ready. So all of these factors. After that 1 year, we didn't produce any revenue, and I often went abroad, and we had this kind of some first classes, but didn't go well. So both of myself and my friend felt that we still wanted to learn more by
Exploring.
exposing to the other countries. So we thought after 1 year, we invested our time, even money. We didn't get anything back, but we loved it. And it was a time where I felt I was like truly living, because I could see other people could become more confident and could have that sparkling in their eyes when they stand up. And
From the same group, right, Jen?
yeah, from that business 1 year, and that was a time, some people probably call it like when you find your passion, right? Because you invested your time, your money, your effort, and you didn't get anything back for almost a year, but you still felt so happy, and you felt like it was a time where you lived truly. So it was a great test for me. So I would call it like I found my passion in working with other people, empowering them either by training, speaking, coaching, or different way, but basically to empowering people to be able to believe and do something bigger than themselves that they can see now, and do something that contribute to life. So that was the time where I found my passion, and the confidence of that level came from I could help other people
So it
to,
helped you become more
yeah,
confident because you're helping other people, not just
yeah,
yourself, but you're actually helping other people.
yeah. And also the second stage and the third stage, actually there's the element to make me more confidence, because my skill of public relation speaking got better. And as a skill got better, as you gain competency, you become more confidence.
Yes.
And when you are more confident, you love it, you keep developing on it. So this kind of confidence and competence loop, I call like that helps. So the second and the third stage, really seeing my skill in speaking got better, and that made me also more confident. And my skill of networking got better, and that also made me confident, more confidence. And one of the ways is to really be courageous, even you are fearful. So the third stage, right?
Yes.
And oh, it's gonna
So now we
go.
have like, you have the competence, the confidence, and now being courageous.
Yes, the first stage, like when I was a kid, I would see like that kind of curiosity and that kind of drive of what is the word is like some kind of mission, some kind of belief in a bigger thing for ourselves, and then coming with developing skills to be more competent and connect with other people. Yes, connecting with other people. Then we can learn from other people. And when people also like to connect with us, it's also reinforced that we are worthy and we have something to offer. Another stage of confidence after that, it, I would call it like congruence. And I borrow this concept from Brandon. or maybe you want to call the word like being yourself or integrity. I think integrity is a little bit like bigger that I didn't really practice well, but let's say authentic you. That would be more common way of saying.
The
Is
real
a
you, being
yeah,
you.
is this stage where you don't need to like in Vietnamese we would have a very good word to express it. You don't need to like so kind of let's say if you look at my body, it's like that. It's like so kind of
Can we say like I'm not sure if I'm correct here because you said you have a beautiful word in Vietnam or Vietnamese language. Is it like something that something from within now is ready to come out, or maybe it's already out? Is it what you mean, or
yeah, it's what I'm trying to say. Like the next stage of the confidence is about the authentic is integrity is about the real you, the true you, and you are confident about it without needing any kind of titles, without needing any kind of other people to give you this kind of recognition. It is a stage of you don't need to try to be someone. Okay, so
you
I think
already found who you truly are
yeah,
and
yeah,
you express that, and I think it's a full awareness of yourself and who you
yes,
are,
yeah,
and embrace that.
yeah. That's beautiful way to express that. I really like to say it's the full awareness. I'm seeing that I still have more to really discover, but I really like what you say because I actually combine this stage with some other element, but it's a part where I am saying yes to myself, even when I stay next to someone that they are really, really good. And I probably have this kind of a little bit, you know, something that not right about feeling that less about me. And I think that is one of the very